everybody, and welcome back to another Dark and Darker video. Today, I am going to get rich within 1 hour of the wipe. So, first off, I am starting off on my leveled rogue, and I am starting on ruins. And you might see that the sound cut out there for a moment. That's because I was alt-tabbing out and just turning off my music on the other screen. And over here in this tent, there can be a golden chest or a lion's head, and I got smacked there. I think I would have gotten smacked there regardless, but when the wipe had just happened, the servers were having a little bit of a bad time. I had actually played a Goblin Caves run before this, and I got absolutely owned by goblins as I was lagging into the corner. But it seemed to even out just fine after a couple of minutes after the servers being up. And so right here, I'm just clearing out these skeletons so I can get at that gold chest that we just saw a moment ago. And once again, I just get thwacked. I am not particularly good at rogue and rogue's moves. You can definitely get 2 hits on them every single time, but if you do it poorly, you're going to get hit like I did. Somehow that was a miss, despite being on the red line. And we get a cape off of our first thing, and we have another rogue rushing at me immediately, which is cool. And I'm taking off the cape here, so if I run into someone else, you know, it wouldn't be something for them to go after and try and loot me. But this guy is on me hard. This is like 5 minutes after the game wiped, and he sees I have a cloak. He doesn't know that the cloak is absolute trash, but it is. And I go ahead and get out of there. Double jump is really good for getting away from people as rogue and makes it quite easy to rat on ruins as rogue. And I've got a couple skeleton archers on me, which is annoying. I like to have a lantern in my other slot. That's just an extra 10 gold I can carry out with me. I don't like to have it in my main slot because then it makes it easier to see me in the dark so you can shoot me from long range. And those guys heard me, so I'm running the other way. I kind of wanted to run past them. But just because I have no gear on does not mean they don't have a brain in their skull anymore. It just means the game just wiped 5 minutes ago. So those guys are chasing me. But they're not chasing me too hard. And if anyone chased me through this room with all these archers, I don't know what they'd be doing. But they're not doing that in the first place. And I'm going to go ahead and hit this lever here. And then I want to go ahead and loot the little secret area over here. And it's already open, and the lights are off, which makes me think that Rogue from before went in here immediately afterwards and looted that. So I don't want to get into a tangle with him. I'm on half health, and I'm a solo on the duos map, which means I will likely lose any encounter I get into. Especially because Rogue is just really bad for PvP, just like horrible. And I hear someone on the other side of this wall. And I go ahead and take myself some heavy boots. Better than no boots, that's for sure. And I see a person over there, but I'm like, hey, there's a lion's head chest here. If I die, I'm not going to lose much. Let me just go ahead and grab what I can from here. And I do so. Turn around with a rupture on my weapon to make him back off there, and he does so. That is actually a fairly intelligent play there. He would have definitely killed me, but I would have hurt him in the process, so he doesn't want the smoke. 2 strength, 1 true physical damage gloves. And by the way, if you guys didn't know already, they have nerfed a lot of the rolls and made it so that you can't roll like 3 weapon damage rolls on the same item or anything like that. And the rolls are a little bit lower now. I have seen +2 weapon damage on some armor pieces still, but it is much better than it was before. I'm going for the healing shrine, and I don't think +2 weapon damage is all too bad. The thing is, when it can roll multiple on the same piece as well, you're talking it's getting multiplicatively worse with how much damage someone can stack on something, which is a huge problem. Now I'm just trying to run away from mid because there's too much smoke at mid, and I don't want to get fought. I kind of just want to loot. There's more people over to my east, which is where I wanted to go for loot. I try and drop caltrops in the doorway, but I end up running in my own caltrops, which is cool. I thought it'd be a little bit kinder with letting you run away from your own caltrops, but I guess not. And we're still perfectly fine. I'm just keeping my distance and all these other players. I want this speed shrine while I have a free chance. Speed shrines are great. No one's going to catch you on rogue with a speed shrine. And really, I just kind of want to get out with the loot I have. I would like more golden chests, but there are other rogues in the lobby doing the exact same thing I am, because this is just optimal to get your first money. Is just go rogue. This time they didn't reset levels, so you go in on a level 15 rogue to ruins, and you pick lock chests, and it's very fast money. Trying to get away from those other people as well. Gotta kill these skeletons. And I hate using the daggers. I have very little experience on the daggers because I am far and above a rapier user. I think the daggers are just absolutely horrible. They do very little damage. They have such low range. I don't see why you would use them. And these guys are coming for me, so I'm just going to go ahead and run through the archers again. I'm pretty sure this is the barbarian and ranger I already ran from once. We're running around in a circle. Fun. And I'm thinking, there's no way this guy's chasing me. Let me go ahead and open up this chest. But then I see him behind me, and I'm like, oh no! Let's not do that. And you can't just full panic every time someone chases you as rogue, because people are always going to be chasing you. So you have to go back into looting mode eventually, but right there I needed to keep running because he's pushing me hard. And I just keep running. And the Wraith is on me, which is annoying, but I'm perfectly fine. I'll just keep running. And look at this Lion's Head chest. They didn't actually get to loot it, but they cleared it for me because they do not have picklocks. And it is all trash garbo. The gold chests are way, way, way better than the Lion's Head chest. Many times better now, so keep that in mind. That doesn't mean Lion's Head chests aren't worth looting. That one was particularly bad. I just looted. And I always like to re-loot chests other people have looted because sometimes they'll have gear items specifically for your class that they wouldn't use, but you would. So that's why I'll reopen them. And I get a portal right here, and we're going to go ahead and get out. I don't particularly want to spend all that long on ruins. I'm just going to get myself a good 200 gold right here. And what I am going to do is, first off, I went and checked the shop to see if there was any gray rapiers. I tried to sell the cape as well, but the game had just started up. There was not any item selling for anything over 50 gold, and I go ahead and buy a green rapier for 50 gold in the trade chat because my merchant does not have any. So I go ahead and take off my tunic and my pants there as well, just the basic ones. The boots and the gloves put my armor rating up high enough so I don't go into the negatives. So I figure that's worth it, and I run high roller with 3 health potions. They also made it so health potions can stack now, guys, so keep that in mind. And right here, I make a mistake. I actually run into a wall spike there because I'm just full tunnel visioning on the dragonfly, and I want it dead. Don't do that. Learn from my mistakes, so you don't have to make them. And I also aggroed these 2 zombies, zombie and a mummy, I should say, and that's annoying. This is a regular dragonfly, though. We'll kill it. And try not to walk through the spider webs. I tried to smack it there, but I did it too late. It slows down your attack speed, which is annoying. And I'm just going ahead and smacking these guys. And they've got quite a bit of health in high roller when you were in fairly low kit, so they take some time to kill. Candy corn, that's really nice. At the very least, you can sell candy corn for 5 gold to the collector. So if you need money early on, selling candy corn to the shop can actually be worthwhile. Also, I picked up those leggings for some reason and then immediately tossed them off after remembering I don't need them because I want speed. And chests are still what you want to loot. They didn't nerf loot too much in High Roller at the very least. The loot is still very good here, but it seems pretty much the same as before where you want to loot the chests. Which is fine. I kind of like the game being this way where the chests are what you're going for. Right here, I get a purple Chapel Day fur. Not super bad rolls, but not the best ever. Zweihander with terrible rolls, and Buckler with meh rolls, and no one likes using bucklers anyways, so I'm not going to worry about it. Bards like using bucklers, but bards don't have any money in the first place, so I don't really care. Ring of Courage, 1 strength, and then I believe that was 2 armor rating. The armor rating rolls, they way nerfed. I saw some people who were scared that they wouldn't nerf the armor rating rolls. With the damage nerf, they also nerfed armor rating, which I think is good because if people are dealing less damage, you don't want everyone to take 45 shots to kill. They're just kind of nerfing gear down a little bit. It's not so much, though, that it's akin to, like, patch 15 or anything. It's much better than that, and you can get your gear up much better than that. Patch 15 was a little bit ridiculous with how far they went with nerfing gear. And I understand a lot of people really liked patch 15 for that day or two that it was there. I think if they had worked with that and kind of tuned it just a little bit, it would have been great. But instead, they've been doing this thing with a ping pong. And I think where it's at now is really good, so hopefully it stays here. We'll have to see, though. It takes some time to test these things. And keep in mind, chests are where the loot is at now, so you don't really need to go after any of these high-tier enemies to kill them or anything like that. Other than mini-bosses. So, mini-bosses would be your Skeleton Champion, your Wraith, your Centaur, and then I also believe Demon Berserkers count as a mini-boss in the crypts. So all of those enemies drop much better items. They got buffed with the chest loot buff. So those guys are definitely still worth killing. And I just avoid the mage in the room before because they take a while to kill for a rogue. Basically, you just get them to fireball themselves. And it's better for me to just avoid it there. Or you can do something akin to this where you kind of have a fireball go past you, you smack him twice, have a fireball go past you. Double jump makes it a lot easier. And if he hadn't bubbled himself there, I could have killed him there, but he bubbled himself. So, just gonna go ahead and drag the rest of this PvE through the traps. You don't have to kill the PvE yourself, especially not when you're already level 15. There's not really any point. Use your environment to your advantage, especially with Rogue, because you have so much movement, it makes it really easy to use your environment to your advantage. And that's an axe guy. The axe guys are a little bit harder to dodge than your regular guys. Not the hardest ever, but a little bit tougher. And much, much better just run them through the traps. Okay, some Lightfoot boots there that are blue. Nice. And an actually fairly decent purple short sword with +2 weapon damage. That's also pretty good. I don't particularly like the short swords. They are fairly short range compared to the rapier, but they're definitely the next best option for a rogue. Okay, and I hear a portal over here, and I'm just like, what? A portal? And then I remember what they said in the patch notes. Oh, they're adding static escape portals and down portals. Now, I haven't found the down portals yet, but I do end up using this escape portal repeatedly, and it makes ratting so much easier. There's actually some counterplay now. If there's like some absolute loony bin in the lobby, I can go ahead and leave sooner rather than later if I know I'm going to get my skull bastion. Also, that fine cuirass I picked up earlier actually has fairly good rolls. It's got armor rating and physical power, which is fairly good, but no one has the money to afford anything that's fairly good right now, so I end up just stashing all the items. Also, have you guys noticed that the only danger that comes from spiders is how they make you lag back and forth with how the server works? Like, you literally teleport back and forth if they're walking at your legs, and it's super annoying. Honestly, I wish they'd just remove the spiders and replace them with something else, or if they could just fix them being laggy. Honestly, what they could just do is make it so they don't have a hitbox at all, and they just nibble at your toes. If they did something like that, then they'd be a lot better and be a lot less annoying, but I think the developers like them being annoying. I don't particularly like annoying aspects in the games I play, but hey, it's their video game. They get to make the decisions. They get especially obnoxious when they're Nightmare, though. They can just take forever to kill. Okay, and that Death Skull is dead. And Death Skulls are great because they have a really high jewelry chance, so I always recommend you loot Death Skulls still. Jewelry is always worth a lot, especially with it just being one-slot items. Totally worth grabbing. Okay, and I'm going up here. And normally this room spawns 2 Death Skulls in it, but I think they had already flown out. They can do that. And I was looking for them here, but they're just not there. So I think those Death Skulls I killed earlier are just flown out. Nothing good out of that first chest. Let's check this other one. Okay, Shadow Mask. Shadow Mask I can at least use myself, and they don't get sold in the store. And Shadow Mask is definitely the best headgear for Rogue. All attributes is kind of just stupid how strong it is. I'm trying to figure out what to drop here, and I end up dropping the Lightfoot boots. This early into the wipe, I would always recommend that you grab more treasures rather than more gear. Treasure is just always going to be worth more. I, however, was perfectly fine to go ahead and sit on some of this gear and sell it later. I usually don't play much more than an hour a day. And so I'm all perfectly fine to just wait and sell the gear later when people actually have some gold in their stash. And heavy ornate chests. These drop really good stuff. Highly recommend. These are the same level as looting Lion's Head chests. I would highly recommend that you loot them. Zwayhander's got to go. And I hear someone else. By the way, this lobby only has 3 people in it because that's how quickly I got into High Roller here. If you go into High Roller immediately after wipe, there's just not going to be anyone. Okay, and that is a longsword with +2 weapon damage. That is purple. That will sell for a couple hundred golds later on after I wait a bit. No one has enough gold to buy it right now, but later on, it should be good. And I hear that portal spawned, but who cares about that portal spawning? This one over here is already open. I kind of thought they'd make you do something for these static escapes on here, but you literally just run into them. Which makes it way easier to escape from people trying to kill you, which great change makes it so there's other viable strategies, including ratting. And we run it back. I just put all those other items in my stash, haven't sold anything just because no one has gold. And this door bugs out right here and doesn't open for some reason. I think the servers were just bugging out right now because there was just so much processing going on. I've never played in the first hour of the wipe before, but apparently this is what it's like. Also, this clip has 30 minutes between because I went and ate dinner with my wife before I queued this up, and I got stuck in the wall there. But on this one, this is a full lobby. This is 15 out of 15 already, and there were like 3 buff balls in the lobby. Luckily, they were all groups of 3, which actually means I'm not in all that much danger on crypts because there's just so few groups. And usually these groups that are quite a bit better don't chase super hard on just little lonely rogues. Trying to get the wizard to fireball itself. I'm pretty sure I was successful there. Okay, and we got mummies coming. There's 4 mummy spawns in this room, or it might be 5, and they can get really annoying, especially with how much health they have in High Roller. And the mage goes ahead and protects it. I'm going to try and get it to fireball itself, even though that mummy was right behind me there, and I rupture it, and that kills it, along with the fire. Great. The reason why I wanted to kill that wizard is there is a lion's head / gold chest spawn behind it, which is great. And this is the quickest way to earn more gold in this game, is learn the map, learn where the gold chests spawn, and just run straight to them. And a skeleton spawns there, and I did not hear that a couple spiders had run up to me there. I thought they were running out a little bit, and I got stuck on them, and I lost like half my health. Big misplay from me, not optimal, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter. And we're going to go ahead and go over here, get rid of the pot. Doesn't break in 2 hits. That's really annoying. And takes so many hits to kill all the spiders. And we get a lion's head chest, and let's see what we get. Pretty terrible boots. Pretty much everything in there was terrible. Maybe the falchion would have been worth something, like 50 gold, but I don't even know if that's worth picking up for 3 slots, and I'd have to spend the time to sell it. And if I'm selling it for 50 gold, I only get 35 gold, so no, I'm not picking that up. You can get the skeletons to kill each other here if they're the two-handed ones. Those ones usually will end up hitting their own teammates. And they do a fair amount of damage in High Roller, so that's kind of nice. Shadow Hood with 2 strength on it on the white line. Hey, that's pretty good. I'll go ahead and take that for my stash. If it's an actual gear item you can use, probably worth taking over some lower tier treasures. If it's not one you can use, I generally wouldn't recommend it, especially not something like a felling axe, a war maul, anything else like that. Okay, and we get a blue rapier with plus weapon damage on it. Actually, I think it was plus magic power, not plus weapon damage, but yeah, this is a good rapier. Better than the one I had before. And I can use it, which is nice. And the reason why I'm still looting the mummies is because you can get bandages off of them, and especially with bandages stacking to 3, they're very worthwhile to take. And I thought the mummy there that got triggered was other players coming for me. I triggered that mummy. It's just how the sound works. It's based off of the room you're in. It's not based off of distance or walls or anything like that. Which I think is not the best system ever, but it's probably just a stand-in for now. Making sound actually work properly seems like it'd be really difficult. And when you're doing this strategy, you're usually better off just running room to room and really quickly looting and then just leaving the mobs behind. The problem with that is I want a room to run back into if I need to, if there are players chasing me. And right here, I make a deadly mistake. Not so much a deadly mistake, actually, but that was a nightmare bat, and I thought it was just an elite bat. And that messes me up really bad because I thought I was going to kill it in 1 hit, and I don't just keep attacking it. It seems like they've upped the chance for nightmare mobs to spawn. That might not be true. I might have just run into a couple in these games, but keep that in mind. Nightmare mobs do have a chance to spawn. They are a thing regardless, and they can mess you up really quickly if you're not expecting them. Another Shadow Hood, some purple adventurer boots, blue felling axe. The blue felling axe would sell for something because everyone's pushing their money towards their barbarian right now, but I'd probably only get 100 gold for it, so what's the point? Which, once again, that would be 85 gold after the fee. And the reason why I jumped down here is because Nightmare Skullbats can drop some extremely good jewelry, and also there was a shield pot down there. Why not, right? Especially with shield pots not being sold at the Alchemist anymore, they were worth a lot at the end of last wipe. I think they'll be worth a lot this wipe too. And this mummy, the reason why I killed this one is because I'm thinking, maybe I want to go ahead and hide in the little lever room over here. For whatever reason, most people never check this lever room, despite it having a shrine of power in it. And that makes it an incredibly good hiding spot, because if you think someone's coming up who will check it, you go ahead and take the shrine of power, you exit, and then you bop them in the face real fast and run away from the rest of their teammates. Candy corn, lockpicks, that was a pretty good chest. And I'm thinking, do I want to hide? Not really. I kind of just want to leave, actually, especially with those static portals. Normally, I would end up hiding in the walls for some time because the portals all spawn too late, but because I can leave quicker now, it's just like, why don't I just leave? I can go ahead and go find a static portal or something. And down here, that room with the spiders down there, I recommend you avoid that one because the spiders you can get stuck on, and I just run into a lot of PvP there. I also recommend you avoid the 4 square room because that room just, once again, a lot of PvP. And here I end up getting hit because I'm getting too aggressive. If you guys play slower, you'll get hit less often than I do. That's just how it is. And oftentimes playing slower is better if it means not getting hit. And these guys, you can circle around them to the right or the left while crouching and putting your head down. That is way more dangerous than just outranging them, though, like you can do on Rogue. I would much rather just stay out of their range on Rogue. Okay, we get a bandage, and I'm going to go ahead and heal myself up here. This room I'm in right now, by the way, is very good because it has a ton of portal spawns. So I'm kind of just waiting for a portal spawn here. I'll take whatever. If I get a hell portal spawn, I'll go to hell. If I get a blue spawn, I'll go ahead and leave there. It's generally easier to go in the blue portals than it is the red portals, which is really annoying. Maybe I'll go ahead and find some more of like the static reds, and then I'll just know how to bum rush those and make an even better method. But for right now, I don't know where those are. And memorizing portal spawns is really important and really, really helpful to becoming a better player. And I'm out of here again. And I made some good money. And you can see a couple of the buff balls fighting. And this already looks like absolute cancer. I hate all of that. And I go ahead and sell all of this junk and get myself some money. Not very much money. I'm not even hoarding that much gold, but I came out with some good items to shove in my stash. And I got the best spawn, in my opinion, here for a solo player. Don't normally get bum rushed here because it's not actually a super common spawn, which is nice. And this room has a lion's head. It has a royal coffin. It has some skullbats to kill. It has a skeleton champion to cheese and a wraith right next door to cheese. So this area is just really, really good money. And we're going to go ahead and loot these death skulls. An amulet right off the first one. A very bad one, but I'll probably get 50 gold for it later. Okay, another amulet. Once again, pretty bad one. And actually a pretty good amulet there. 2 true magic damage, couple armor rating, couple max health. Not too shabby. And the royal coffin over here. Let's see what we get. Pretty much nothing. They nerfed him into oblivion. Good to know. And once again, I'm taking items that actually work on my character because it's always good to have extra gear sets on your character. That's why I take those shadow hoods, even though they're not actually the best. And the lever tries to fling me there. And go ahead in there, get 2 whacks on it. If they swing from your left when you're facing them, that means they're swinging twice. If they swing from your right, that means they're swinging once. And right there, I got hit. Okay, that felling axe is actually fairly decent. I'm still going to decide to drop it because it's just not worth the slots, even if I can sell it for 100 gold. But I was thinking about taking it. If it was a purple, I probably would have taken it. Okay, we got the skeleton champion on me. And also, this spawn is even better now because there is that static escape portal right next to it now, which is fantastic. And when you're in a situation like this where you keep bonking the wall when you try and hit something with the rapier, you can just spam left click over and over, and it will repeatedly stab instead of doing something else, which works really well in these situations. And he's kind of a little ways down, which is annoying, but I'll kill him pretty quick here anyways. And there we go, he dies. Crappy occultist boots, and okay, golden key and northern fold tunic. Nice. Northern fold tunics actually go for a lot generally. They're a pretty good item. You want armor rating or max health or fizz damage reduction or magic resistance on them though. Weapon damage also works if that's still an available roll, but I don't think I've seen it. And the rolls on it weren't too bad. I think it had like max health or something on it. It would definitely sell for something. It wouldn't be worth all that much, though. And I'm just thinking, okay, let me go ahead and fill up my inventory, and then I'm going to go to the static escape portal. I had not thought already about how it might not be open yet, like how it is in the Goblin Caves, and it is not open yet. It is not enabled yet. You can see on my screen here, it is not turned on yet. And it turns on after a little bit, so you can't just leave like 1 minute into the match. So I think, okay, let me go ahead and cheese this Wraith then. While I have a golden key in my inventory, I am already doing extremely well this run. And once again, Wraiths have good loot, especially elite ones in High Roller, so always want to kill them. And it's down. Let's go ahead and loot it. Leather leggings with additional move speed, not too bad. They're not the best thing ever, but they're not too shabby. And I'm thinking, let's get a little cocky here. Let's loot some extras, and you can see it's turned on now. That Germunbu is worth pretty much nothing, but I was just trying to grab it instantly. Would have been nice to grab the health pot too, but oh well. I sell this stuff to the store, and I come out with like 300 gold, a golden key, and look at all these items in my stash. Those are all half-decent items that would sell, and I got a golden key. So I'm doing pretty hot already. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a really quick one for you guys today. Make certain to subscribe.